Yo, what is up guys, your boy IzuKage here with part 2 of what if Naruto was Goku Black's reincarnation. And you guys really seem to be enjoying this series, so I'm definitely gonna put time and make sure that it's like the best it can be. So with that said, if you guys have any suggestion for like how you would want this like what if to go, you could affect how the story ends up. So when you're writing that in the comment, put hashtag suggestion, and if you have a what if idea, put hashtag idea, and I'm gonna put both of those on screen so you know exactly what to type. Doing that, it just makes it easier for me to find you. So yeah, with that said, let's get right into the what if. So for a short recap, Goku Black's spirit entered Naruto, and because of his enraged state from, the villagers kicking him around, Goku Black took over Naruto's body, killing off the villagers who were, tormenting him. And, after that, Naruto eventually got into the academy and remained at the top of his class and graduating as the Rookie of the Year, and was placed on Team 7. So we catch up with Naruto exactly where we left off last time. He had his energy blade ready to off Hiruzen, and as he goes for it, Naruto's subconscious begins second guessing himself. The little bit of Ashura's spirit present is trying to win over Naruto, but Goku Black in his mindscape finally gets rid of it, the last remaining amount. He sends the spirit to the darkest parts of his mindscape so Naruto can never feel like that way again. So with Naruto's mind clear, he refocuses on his objective, and he brings his head, he brings his hand back and shoves it through Hiruzen's chest, right through his heart, just giving him a quick, painless death. So the personal Ambu of Hiruzen, seeing this, rushed Naruto, but they all got cut down with the Keyblade. Now it's time for Naruto's plan to get into motion. Naruto, using his ki, completely incinerates the bodies in the room, leaving no trace, and he creates a clone and infuses it with half his power so it really would never poof away, be dispelled. So it has it transform into Hiruzen, and with that, Naruto can run the village from the shadows. So after Naruto was finished, he started hearing many footsteps rushing towards the office, so he instant transmissions home, and the Ambu kicked down the door expecting a fight, but they only saw Hiruzen sipping tea. So they get off guard and ask Hiruzen why were they hearing shouting and just screaming earlier, and he just made up some excuse saying he was getting rid of his personal Ambu, put him back down to the rank of Jonin, so they weren't happy. So, the Ambu, they were confused, why would he do that? But, they accepted this excuse. It's the Hokage, don't ask questions. So they returned to their posts. So the next day, Naruto goes to the training ground for the bell test. And, he's there the same time as everyone. Sasuke and Sakura are far away from him. They're, on the other side of the fence. So, because they're scared of Naruto, and rightfully so. So, they're waiting for Kakashi as always, and they're waiting, say an hour goes by, and Naruto realizes something. He senses someone in the trees, so Naruto goes up, and it was, the reason why he didn't sense it sooner is because it was, really far away. So Naruto, walks off, and Sasuke and Sakura, they're breathing a sigh of relief, he's gone. And Naruto goes up to this, huge tree, and he infuses his ki into the tree, disintegrating it, and Kakashi falls out of it, landing on his back, and he's oh hey there Naruto. He's yeah, Kakashi, just get to the test. So he comes through and he explains the test to everyone there, and yeah, the bell test begins. So as it begins, Sasuke and Sakura rush into the forest to try and hide to get a good position on Kakashi, while Naruto is just standing there. And Kakashi's thinking, oh, so you really are cocky. And, Naruto rushes Kakashi. Not rushes, he's not going full speed. But he runs up to Kakashi, and Kakashi couldn't react because he was moving really fast, and Kakashi didn't have his Sharingan out. So he couldn't react, and Naruto grips his neck and like starts squeezing it. And Kakashi's he's like holding his arm trying to like get out of it, and Naruto kicks him back, like kicks him in his gut into the river. So after getting kicked into the river, Kakashi like gets up out of it, and he's like, okay, so you're strong. And he lifts up his Sharingan, and Naruto is thinking, so you decide to take this seriously. And yeah, Kakashi throws a few kunai at Naruto, but Naruto just cuts these in half with his keyblade simply, and then rushes Kakashi again, this time at full speed. And he swings his blade at Kakashi, like his keyblade, and this was aimed for his neck. And he swings it, and Sasuke and Sakura watching this, they're like, no, Kakashi sensei. And he cuts off his neck, but then he poofs into smoke. Actually, Kakashi, like before he got out of the river, he made a shadow clone to come out first. So when Kakashi comes out, actually he's freaking out because he knew that like sliced it clean through. So he's like worried. He's worried badly. So he goes back under the water to try and like surprise attack Naruto, but little does he know he can sense him. So he tries grabbing Naruto's legs, but Naruto decides to fly straight up, bringing Kakashi into the air, and he's holding on for dear life, but Naruto starts shaking his legs and starts like kicking him, and this makes like Kakashi let go. So he starts falling, but using a clone to break his fall, and he didn't die, but he's like very injured. So Naruto floats down and grabs the bell from Kakashi's because at this point he's unable to move. So Sasuke and Sakura, they saw this whole thing and they're dumbfounded. This Jonin that's supposed to be like top 3 best ninja in the whole village just got beaten up that badly by Naruto. They didn't even know that was possible. And the villagers, this is obviously an open area, so there were villagers watching and they haven't spoken a word. They're just looking like in awe but scared at the same time. And as like they're just watching Naruto as he just walks back to the Forest of Death. And everyone in the crowd starts running towards the like Hokage mansion to tell Hiruzen that the demon is stronger than they thought. So there's this massive crowd outside the tower and Hiruzen walks out. Everyone starts screaming about Naruto, being strong and stuff, and they're calling him demon. So Hiruzen lets out some killing intent and everyone freezes in fear. And then he says, if I hear you speak of Naruto as a demon again, you will be executed, and that is law. And I'll say a bold villager says, hell no, Naruto, that demon should die. And Hiruzen looks down at him and signals his Anbu, and they rush the guy, suppressing him and bringing him to the dungeon underneath the Hokage mansion. So with that said, everyone is like, okay, so he wasn't joking. Then Hiruzen says, does anyone else have something to say about my ruling? Good. Now return to your normal lives. The matter of shinobi doesn't concern the likes of civilians. And the crowd starts breaking apart. And let's say one of the civilians, they were whispering to his friend, like a conversation, and this guy whispers to his friends and he says, now the Hokage is on the side of that demon. And as he says this, an Anbu member like swipe kicks his legs, making him fall to the ground and sealing his hands, and the Anbu takes him to the dungeon as well. So everyone now knows like you can't like whisper anything, like that's no matter where you are, you will get caught. So 2 days later, and during this time, Kakashi has been recovering in the hospital. So now he's finally out, and Kakashi calls his team to like meet up at the training ground, where he tells them they'll start like finally doing missions. So when they go to Hiruzen to collect what Kakashi thinks is a D rank mission, Hiruzen hands them the mission information, and there's this big A at the top, and Kakashi is confused and he says, Hokage, I think you gave us the wrong papers. So Hiruzen takes it back and says, no, this is it. A rank, yep, this is it. Gato, yeah. Gato has been, a real problem for the Leaf, so I need him and his whole entire organization to be taken down. And Kakashi at this point is really considering if Hiruzen is sane, but he can't oppose the Hokage, so he accepts this mission. So as they were going to leave, Hiruzen says, "Wait, one more thing," and he calls in the bridge builder and says they'll have to like escort him as well. And Kakashi's just he's so confused why the Hokage is giving them such a high rank mission for their first time, but he can't do anything about it. So to the gates of the Leaf Village, and everyone meets up there, and they would have to walk to the Land of Waves, but Naruto tells everyone to like hold on to him, just make physical contact with him, and everyone's like reluctant to do it except Tazuna, because Tazuna doesn't know anything about Naruto. So they're reluctant to touch Naruto, but with a little killing intent, they do it. And after everyone's in contact with Naruto, he uses instant transmission and just appears in front of Tazuna's house. And Tazuna's like, "Whoa, that's a neat trick, kid." And everyone's confused, and Kakashi's thinking flying Raijin, but like there's no mark here. So he thinks it's some advanced version of flying Raijins, but other than that. So they go inside, and Tazuna's daughter, she's greeting everyone. She makes something for everyone to eat. So while they were eating, Inari's still yapping about like they won't be able to do anything against Gato, and Gato is so strong, and Gato is this, Gato is that. And Naruto, he wouldn't do anything, but he's just getting annoyed at this kid. He's just nagging at his brain. He's just really annoyed at Inari. So he walks up to him, and he grabs him by the neck, and he says, what does it take you to shut up? Do I have to? And then he starts squeezing down at Inari's neck, and Inari's mom is like, "Okay, calm down, he's just a kid, And Naruto just puts him down and says, you need to put a muzzle on him. So he goes back to eat, and everyone's like, okay, Naruto is actually like Naruto is insane. So yeah, that goes on, and the next day they go and protect Tazuna while he's building the bridge. And also like all the ninjas who were lying in wait, like the Demon Brothers and Zabuza, they were waiting for Tazuna to pass, but he never did. So they were out building the bridge and stuff, and then Zabuza finally got word that Tazuna is like back in the village. So he's confused how he even missed him, but that's besides the point. So 2 days pass while Tazuna is building the bridge, and they're like protecting him. When they're not protecting him, they would train and do stuff like that. By train, like Sasuke and Sakura, while Naruto is just off somewhere. I don't even know. So on the 3rd day, while he was building the bridge, the mist starts rolling in, and Kakashi's telling everyone to be on guard. He thinks he knows who this is. So Zabuza appears, and he throws his sword at the team, and Kakashi tells everyone to duck, but Naruto just grabs the sword, grabbing it so hard that it breaks it a bit, and using his ki, he disintegrates the sword like immediately. And Zabuza, seeing this, is like, "My sword, like that was special." So he's mad, and he runs at Naruto like, "Boy, you." And Naruto just punches him in the gut, and he drops to the ground like, what? And Haku comes in, she's like, "No, Zabuza," and she rushes Naruto, and Naruto just backhands her, her mask breaks, and the rest of Team 7 watching this is like, okay, I guess he doesn't need help. So Zabuza like mans up, he sucks up the pain, and he gets up, and he like does a series of water style jutsu at Naruto, but nothing works. Naruto just blitzes Zabuza, grips him by his face, and starts squeezing down, but Naruto would have literally crushed his skull if Haku didn't use Senbone to try and attack Naruto. So he had to dodge, and Naruto focusing on Haku next, he kicks her, like he basically instant transmission behind her and kicks her in the side of the head, laying her out cold on the ground. So Zabuza, now enraged, he rushes Naruto, but his enraged state is nothing compared to Naruto. Naruto instant transmissions behind him, and using with a really small ki blast, he completely destroys Zabuza, leaving only ash. So yeah, that's how it went. So Naruto was going to take care of Haku next, but Kakashi stops him and tells them that it would be good to take her back to the village and get intel out of her. So Naruto doesn't really care, and yeah. And then after restraining Haku, Gato's men show up. So, Naruto was going to take care of this, but Kakashi was like, okay, bro, like you got those two. At least let me get this. So Kakashi, along with Sasuke, take care of Gato's goons. Really doesn't. It really is not that hard, and they take, Gato alive. So yeah. And the villagers show up. They saw like what Naruto did, how he completely destroyed these S-rank ninja, or at least I think Zabuza was S-rank. Yeah, these S-rank ninja, and they admire Naruto so much they call it the Great Naruto Bridge. So after that, Tazuna finishes the bridge, and yeah, they leave back to the Leaf Village. And yeah, this time they're deciding to walk back. They have Gato and Haku. Haku is just slumped over Kakashi's shoulder, while Naruto is just dragging Gato along. Like he's tied up his foot and arms, and he has a rope attached from his foot, like he's holding it in his hand. So yeah, he's just dragging him along the ground as they go on. So Gato's getting that rough treatment, not gonna lie. So they reach the Leaf Village. They give Hiruzen, well, quote unquote Hiruzen, but it's to them it's Hiruzen. So they give Hiruzen the both Haku and Gato. And with that, they've completed their first successful mission as Team 7. And that's where I'm going to be leaving this one off. Hope you guys liked the video, and if you did, like, and if you like my content in general, why not subscribe? And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next What If.